How's everybody doing?
Good.
Summer's over. So
I know. Don't
hope
say
you
that.
hope you got it done.
Summer's not over.
Sure it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I don't know. The traffic, school's back. First day back today.
Oh, is today the first day back?
Yeah. For all the children's.
Yeah, I'm beyond that.
Summer's not over for me until like end of August.
Oh.
Yeah.
You live in denial.
I'm living in denial.
Good for you.
Yeah.
No fun, like extra plans before the summer's over?
Oh yeah, we'll still be hitting the pools and shit.
Sweet.
So.
Pools. You got a circuit? What do you got going?
Oh yeah.
You get kicked out of one, you go to the next. By the time
They only let me into so many, because you bite one person and you get kicked out of a pool.
some of them, those that's got the blue dye, so when you do your business, all of a sudden,
Correct.
they're like everybody out of the pool.
Well, he doesn't wear pants, so it's pretty obvious when he's
Well,
There's the other thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I hate seeing what comes after all this, the winter and the gray skies. So I'm just trying.
Well, it's been a weird weather system anyway.
It's been
for
crazy.
the summer. Like yesterday, we were I was grilling some fish, and then I was kind of cleaning up. And the sun was setting, and it just starts pouring down rain, and it was like the brightest I've ever seen.
I was talking to, it's sort of weird, and I'm sure you've probably noticed this too with your cabin out sort of in a rural area. It just seems like the last 3 or 4, maybe 5 years here in Louisville and surrounding counties, it seems very tropical.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I said the same thing.
The green, like just brush has been growing so crazy over the last 5 summers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I feel like it's surrounding us, and which is great. I mean, I hate global warming, but if it raises,
But hey, my flowers look great.
and if we're gonna have like mid 70-degree weather in October and November, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, I think I mentioned it to you last time we were together. We've just reached summer pool, Barren River. From
Just?
rains in March and April.
That
Just
is
got
nuts.
back down to summer pool this
It's
week.
been about a lot of rain.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, and so again, the discussion of they've always used the last, like 25, 30 years historical data. They need to throw that out and just look at the last 10 because it's dramatically different. And I assume that's happening at a lot of places. So.
I'm sure they're probably not even looking at that now. With the layoffs of NOAA and all that.
Who
stuff.
knows? So you brought up a conspiracy theory of, the global warming is a conspiracy theory. We always talk about a conspiracy theory of the week or month or whatever. I was wanting to get you guys' take on this 3-eye atlas thing. Have you heard about that?
The what?
Not.
The 3-eye atlas, this object that is like the third.
My wife has, but
You can't buy this on certain websites. But it's like the only third interstellar object that will be entering our solar system.
I saw something about the one scientist that rated something like a 0.009% that it's
Alien?
natural.
Yeah.
No, that it's natural.
right.
that's a lot of people are. I have heard this.
Yeah,
It's entering our solar
Is it
system.
the trajectory that is
It's a lot of
calling it
things.
out with the signature?
The trajectory, the plane at which it's entering, it's on the same orbital disk or radius as all the planets are at the time. So like that's like one of the reasons why it's such a low percentage of it being just a natural occurrence.
and it's orange, and it has like the General Lee Dixie flag on the top. So they're pretty sure.
kind of a
it's
sign.
man-made.
But it's interesting. I just saw something the other day where somebody was answering the question of an excited attendee at whatever conference or symposia this was. And the person was like, do you believe in, life on other planets? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, let me just say something right out of the gate. Everybody's getting it wrong. You think they're coming here for our experience, and that's how you're looking at it. One of two things is going to happen. They're either way advanced beyond us and we're their future servants, whatever.
or food.
Yeah. Or number two, we fit in the food chain. And I mean, it's not going
Food-
you need to
not gonna end
stop.
well.
You need to stop saying you want to reach out and find life. Just shut up
Or
and
water.
keep your
or water. Like they might need
resources.
water. Or I would watch this movie. Totally watch this movie. Is if aliens came here looking for THC.
Oh, like that was the
That was the only thing. Yeah. Get Cheech and Chong and
Brothers.
Dude, I'm just saying.
They're
Brothers from other space mothers.
Exactly.
their alien craft is shaped like a VW bus.
They're all just heads. Talk like interstellar
Bros.
surf bros. Whoa, bro! Nice planet. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, but I mean, like this thing is it's supposed to be
So
here.
when
in
is-
end of October, November is when it
of this year.
Yeah,
I'm telling you what, guys, everything is so crazy. Right?
yeah.
This is an alternate universe. We keep
I know,
talking
I know.
about that.
And it's gonna it'll pass pretty close to like the major planets, all in its trajectory, and it will slow down behind the sun, so we can't observe it. Where it can
It's flipping us off.
either decide to stick around or change its trajectory and go somewhere else. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's pretty fascinating, and the fact that the percentages of this happening are so low for it to be
Right.
just an accident. But I mean, it's still a chance.
Right, right.
Dude,
It
there's
is.
so much we don't know, and that's
Yeah.
one of the fascinating things. You know, when you pull a telescope out at night and just look at things.
Yeah, which you've done
just-
some.
I love.
You've been really getting into
Yeah.
that.
And it's just like you just feel like we're just so insignificant and so small.
Yeah.
And the things that society is really worried about and bitching about, it's like it's so minimal and so little compared to just the unknown element that's out there, right?
100%.
Well, I always love hearing about astronauts, that've been to space, but looking back at
Yeah.
the blue marble and being so overwhelmed with emotion, but it's tapping into that perspective of you don't see borders and lines from space. It's just the marble. And you realize we're all inhabitants on there, and everything else melts away. All the bullshit, all the man-made prejudices, and all of it. It's just, and I think it's amazing to hear, without a doubt, everybody that's talked about it talks about how it just washes over them. This big emotional state.
It's
of
called
like,
the overview effect.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah, I read
that
a book,
new perspective.
Yeah, I read a book about it over the winter. And it was about this lady. She was trying to find that exact feeling that astronauts have in space, but here on Earth. I'm like, how
Mushrooms. Am I right?
Wait, I thought
Mushrooms.
I thought maybe this was a Katy Perry thing. I didn't. I didn't know. She had the little clover flower. I just didn't know what you were going with, but I'm sure that's
enough.
not it.
No, it was not ghost written by Katy Perry. But it was a good book. Like she travels all over the world and talks to all these different astrophysicists, and they're trying to get that same feel. Like, how do you achieve that without getting in a spaceship and
I've been
looking back on the Earth?
My therapist actually recommended, and I don't know if you guys have done this, and I haven't yet, but it really piques my interest. It's called Reiki.
Called what?
Oh,
Reiki.
Oh, Reiki.
vaguely familiar.
Yeah. And she's like, bro, this is like one of the most
It's
crazy,
a practice, right?
yeah,
Of
crazy
meditation.
experience that you could ever have. And it's like, okay. And I still haven't done it.
Explain.
It's basically, it's like a massage, but nobody touches you. It's all done with hands sort of around you.
Can we practice it now?
You know that
Is the
you know that my
basis
wife
but-
is a Reiki massage therapist, right?
Wow, I did not know that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What a
Wow.
coincidence.
So explain.
Why is she
explain
not
how-
on our guest
Explain
list?
how explain how that works.
I could
It's
give
like
you
asking her how to
kind
shoot a
of
film.
Yeah. I could give you kind of an overview, and it's basically energy.
Yeah. Energy fields.
And I was a skeptical at first, but I do see the benefits, and I like if I could liken it to something, it would be like CBD versus marijuana. Like
Interesting.
it's like CBD is good for you, but it's hard to tell,
Right.
and I think the Reiki fits into that.
That's cool.
Does it have to be like a minimum number of people, so it's not a one-on-one thing? It's a group thing?
No, it's a one-on-one.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, but I've heard that's just like an amazing experience. It's awesome. We'll have to maybe have Aaron on the show. That would be
Yeah, I would love to hear more about that.
because you do start looking for things like that in the daily grind of life. It's like, what can I do to pull myself
Well,
away?
It's
right?
all those, like we were talking about before, whatever little life hacks you can find
Yeah.
that can boost your mood for the day.
Or your sense of connectedness.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think we lose touch
Yeah.
with that, right?
Like what's an example? Like we've talked about those kind of little life hacks. Do you have a life hack that gets you there?
That's a great question.
That's not chemical.
Yard,
Yeah, I know. That's why I was
yard work.
immediate.
Yard work, yeah.
I
get that.
I love being out in the yard.
We've talked about that a lot on this show.
Water plants, you know.
Anything that's action oriented and working with your hands, and I mean anything like that that sort of gets you into that flow state. That's, for lack of a better word, it's a flow state.
It doesn't involve a screen.
Yeah, and sometimes it's really weird. You'll just stop, and I don't know if it was 2 days ago, the clouds here were just brilliant in Louisville. I mean, they were just puffy and blue.
Oh yeah,
beautiful and just varied. And it's just like, man, I just want to take 5 minutes and just sit here and watch those two birds fly. You know,
Well,
I mean,
to that point, I will tell you there's something interesting. Something came across again in my algorithm that's constantly evolving. I've been getting more stuff around quantum, which obviously is everywhere, and the entanglement, but also talking about the energy that's in everything, you know, including the air and all the things you don't see that we just see a small bit of spectrum. But the thing that that stuck with me, it wasn't quantum related, but in a similar manner, was talking about the sense of gratefulness and mindfulness of our human brain and how we've evolved. Spends a ton of time thinking about what's in the rearview mirror, our past, some of it traumatic, some not, but it's just, we spend a lot of time there. And we also spend a lot of time thinking and in trying to anticipate and second guessing and preparing for what the unknown is. But the only thing that exists is this moment right now,
And then now, and then
right
now.
now.
And
No, I mean,
now.
no,
Now.
now. But I mean, there's something, it sounds kind of cliched and simple, but when you sort of immerse yourself into that thinking, it's like, the old just be here now.
Oh, yeah,
but I
just
mean, I think that taps into a lot of, whether it's, Buddhism has some of those threads. I don't know. I just find that to be a universal thing. And I'm trying to spend more time. You're talking about life hacks. I'm trying to spend more time
in that space.
In that space, but also to surround yourself with the thoughts of gratitude of like,
Yes.
shit, what are the odds I'm even here? We only live for this when you're younger, it feels like forever, but we know it's that.
Yeah.
And like, just now. Just right now.
And when you do that, I think that time is a variable, and it's all relative.
Absolutely.
That it does have this magical, result of, it does feel like time slows down when you do that.
Oh,
it
man.
absolutely
And
does, but it's so hard to remember to do it just because
And to
you
be
fall
present.
into your trap.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, I've tried to make it a point, and that's something that really helped me out from that last job. That was a crazy job, going to therapy, and that was the one thing.
Good for you, Jamie, by the way.
And that was the one thing, is just, really, really trying to enjoy the moment and trying to find those moments. And I make sure I have those moments daily now. It's like, when I get home, I'll sit on the deck with my dogs. We'll, watch the birds. We'll just
be there.
Yeah, just that noise.
I'll get into cooking.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, cooking's been my thing lately.
Cooking's another zen moment.
Oh, you did
dude.
fish. You
I did fish last night.
Did
Yeah,
you,
what kind
did
of
you do that on
fish?
purpose just to get that smell over to Kyle's yard?
What fish you said you grilled? Did you grill a thick, like a swordfish?
No, just
or
some tilapia, several
Oh,
little fillets.
in a basket? Or
No, I have a Blackstone grill.
tell me more. What's that
He
mean?
has a bluestone.
It's a Bluestone grill.
it's
You have a bluestone grill?
it's like just a standard cooking grill.
It's just like a cast iron. It's a large, instead of your grate.
Flat surface instead of
surface,
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. And so I cooked on that, and then instead of boiling some corn on the cob, I actually cooked it on the
Oh,
Blackstone.
nice.
Put a little
Char it.
garlic on it, and some paprika, a little bit of parsley on it.
Nice. I wish I could taste that.
Yeah, I should have brought some, but I didn't. I ate it all for lunch. I made fish tacos today for
But
lunch.
he can't,
Oh,
he can't
nice.
taste it
Yeah,
anyway,
so-
poor guy.
Nice.
But speaking of good energy, I think our guest brings a lot of really, really good energy.
We'll set the bar. yeah.
So, our guest today is probably one of Louisville's most widely respected musicians, and he's probably looking at me right now thinking, "Who are you talking about?" But this person has done some amazing things, and we'll let him talk about it, both with music, with film, with video, with performing. It is none other than the great Scott Carney.
Welcome,
to the
Scott.
show, Scott.
Greetings.
See, right away, don't you feel calmer?
Yeah. Where's your calm place, dude?
It's somewhere in between anxiety and depression.
I know that
Nice.
place. I know that
Such a
place.
small, sweet spot.
I know that
It
Razor's
is.
edge.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between completely freaking out
Yep.
and utter despair.
That's where the magic at.
That's right. Yeah. So, where is my sweet spot? Gosh, it's probably playing music. I mean,
That's awesome.
There's nothing else that kind of takes me out of everything and puts me kind of, as you were saying, in the moment and whatnot. So
Nice.
it's my special place.
And is that a daily thing?
It is, yeah, more or less. Yeah, I'll pick up and play almost every day
Really?
For yourself.
for myself.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah. I have always felt that, above anything else, music has always been therapy for me.
Yep.
So, like, if I get to do anything else with it, that's great too. But beyond all that, that's
First and foremost.
what helps me navigate emotionally through our chaotic world.
Yeah.
What was you remember memory back when you were a kid? First thing you picked up? Parents had you take lessons for? Like, how did music come in your life?
Somebody forced an instrument into your hand, or
Yeah, no, it's
Or somewhere else.
To save space.
that's a conversation for my therapist.
To save
That pseudophone hurts.
To save space.
Yeah. So when I was very small, I had developed this weird habit of singing myself to sleep.
Oh, nice.
And I did this every night for a very long time, much to the chagrin of my sister who slept in the next room.
What was the
And
song? What do you remember?
it was just whatever I would hear on MTV or on the radio. One song that stands out was I Just Called to Say I Love You by Stevie Wonder.
good choice.
Yeah, that's
But I mean, anything that was popular at the time. And I would sing not only all the words to it, but I would like sing the guitar solo or whatever. And I would do this for about a half an hour or so.
To soothe yourself to sleep.
Yeah, I think, I talked to my mom yesterday and I texted her out of the blue. I was like, was I ever diagnosed ADHD or hyperactive disorder as a kid? Because I'm pretty sure I was. And she said that no one ever had said anything like that
Yeah.
to her.
But it was also the 80s.
it was
Yeah.
also the 80s.
No,
So who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
When you say was, do you think you've outgrown that, or do you think that's your little super magic power?
what's that?
ADHD, or
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that going on.
and then over time you've just learned the coping skills on how to manage it or put it to good use.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it is both a blessing and a curse. It allows me to be hyper productive, but get nothing done at the same time.
Absolutely.
Guilty.
It's like,
Why am I in this room? What the hell was I
I'm almost finished with something, and now I'm going over here.
Yes.
So there's a lot of that, which explains, why I have my hands in so many things, is because I just can't. I'm distracted.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
bored.
You get
easily,
to learn.
things
I
like
mean,
that.
you get to learn something. It's boring to do the same shit every day.
It is. Yeah, I feel really fortunate that I've been able to cultivate a life where I'm able to just jump around into so much, variety of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all started off as a kid singing myself to sleep, and that went on for probably way too long. And then eventually I started playing guitar.
Okay.
No thanks to, there's this, it's a very obscure movie. Some call it's probably on Criterion Collection somewhere. It's one of those kind of movies, but it's called Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, never.
So,
Tell us about this Bill and this Ted.
yeah. So,
William and Theodore.
very
Please tell us more
sexy
about these two
dudes.
gentlemen.
Really? That was
Yeah.
that was a big
so
moment?
that was the movie that compelled me to get a guitar.
Nice.
And so from
Really?
there, my mom made me earn it.
Yeah.
So I had to take my would-be sixth grade teacher at St. Barnabas Elementary School in Hikes Point, which is no longer there. She taught a summer guitar camp, like a little 4-week course where she would teach John Denver songs.
Excellent.
And
Love that.
other religious Catholic,
So this was
good old fashioned.
acoustic 6-string.
This was,
Okay.
acoustic guitar, and so I took that course and I just fucking crushed it. I just crushed that John Denver song, just shoved it right
Shredded
in
some
there.
John Denver.
Do you remember
some
what,
Johnny
what
D.
tune was it? Do you remember?
Probably Country Roads Take Me
Oh,
Home
yeah,
or
of
something
course,
like
yes.
that. Yeah, and a couple other things. So then from there, I elected to take lessons. I got an electric guitar for my 12th birthday. Got taken to. It's now, oddly enough, it's it was called, oh my gosh, it was a music store on Bardstown Road near Costco. It's now like a tombstone. They make headstones and stuff.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like right there by 264. But it
Okay.
used to be a music store
Oh,
back
I
in
know
the
what you're
day.
talking about. Yeah. It was right next to Toy Tiger, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Look at me. No,
Correct.
I,
Monday.
Nice.
We
Not
know
that
what
I've ever
Jason did
patronized-
on the weekend back in the day.
You're real quick with that toy tiger. Just rolled right off the tongue.
and I'm not even from Louisville. So.
Yeah, so I got my first electric guitar, and I took formal lessons for about a year at Bader Music Village in the McMahon Plaza in Hikes Point, where I grew up, and with a man named Monty Foster.
That's not a real name.
I swear to God. And this guy looked
Does he host a game
exactly
show?
like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons.
Howdy ho there.
No shit. Mustache, hair, glasses.
Howdy ho there, Scotty.
Yeah. The whole thing. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it was magical, and it was, he was very nice. Ned Monty was he was very accommodating.
Shout out Monty.
But he wanted me to learn the Mel Bay guitar book, and I wanted to learn Iron Maiden and
Yeah,
Metallica, and he taught me a little bit of that, but not enough. So our relationship was very short, and we broke up. I left him for my cassette.
You broke the band up.
Yeah, we broke the band up, and I decided I was just going to teach myself.
I was going to say, did it just shift into, hey, let me just do this on my own?
It did, yeah. And that has also been a blessing and a curse that has been with me my entire life, is the fuck it, I'll just do it. I'll just learn how to do this myself. And
Develop all the bad habits.
which is why I'm here today, in a way. So
It's almost like a PSA for people like, you should stay in school and learn things from people that really know how to do these things.
yeah, but it also is, so I teach private music lessons. I've done that for a little over a decade now. And the only thing I could say about it is the importance of finding good teachers. Right? Because if you're
And mentors.
as my, in my experience, like I was paired with the wrong person, and there was no like, well, we'll just go somewhere else. It was like, okay, well, if you're not going to take it from Monty up at the Bader Music Village, then I guess
I don't
you're
know
on
what
your
to
own,
do for
kid.
you. Yeah.
So
That's a great point.
But just finding the right people, and if you don't find that, then what happens? So I feel fortunate that I went the direction that I did, but I feel bad for kids that want to learn how to do something, music or otherwise, and they just don't find the right person, because you might be good at something. There are a lot of great musicians out there. They're not all good teachers,
Right.
per se. You have to communicate. You have to.
And
do-
then if
do all
that
that stuff.
causes a student or potential future musician just like, no, I'm not into it anymore, that sort of just shuts it down.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, and there's
a
a lot of
great
variables that can come along with that, and the teacher being one of them. And I think
Yeah.
the teacher is a big part of that. Part of my teaching practice is to try to find creative ways to just keep the kids interested in
yeah.
playing
And have fun.
and have fun.
So it
Yeah,
remains a fun thing.
exactly. We call it playing music for a reason, because
Yeah.
it's not supposed to feel like a job.
Right.
Yeah.
never
Working
thought of it that way.
music.
But if you want to get good at it, you have to do some work.
Right.
There's work involved. But it doesn't, you work at your own pace. I don't put any pressure. I don't do any recitals or anything like that on my students. So we just kind of go at their pace, their
what age
direction.
group is it? Is it a pretty vast range of?
It depends on the instrument. So I teach guitar and piano mostly. I taught drums for a while. Piano, you can start early. Guitar, there is like a finger tenderness issue that needs to be overcome,
interesting.
which is a big deterrent for younger kids. So usually somewhere between 8 and 10 is the sweet spot
Nice.
for guitar.
That's cool.
And drums, if they can bang on something,
Yeah.
they can
Right away.
play drums. But a lot of it just depends on the child's disposition, their focus,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth as to.
Any John Denver songs or
Drums.
no that you're teaching kids.
Plant a tree.
Yeah. So, with piano, I follow a curriculum. We use music books. I haven't had time to develop my own curriculum there. With guitar, for the younger kids, I have like a little sort of entryway that takes about a year or two. And then once they get to a point where they can play chords and the older kids can kind of jump into this, I just let them dictate what we do.
Yeah.
I tell them, give me a song. I
That's
figure it out. I transcribe it in real time, and we try to learn a song every
That's a
time.
great approach, because that gives them the freedom to choose the song that makes them interested in the instrument,
Keeps them engaged.
rather than like you forcing a song that they may not like our
John Denver.
like Ned Flanders or whatever his name was.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, no one is gonna, anyone would be more excited to play something that you wanted to learn rather than something you were just given.
Right.
So,
Right.
Gives you ownership.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know for me, I like to tell my students I've made all the mistakes so that you don't have to,
Well, being here today is one of them. So
Yeah.
But
I'm already regretting it.
that's typical.
that's the feeling. That's the general feeling of being on it.
Yeah, you're not
So-
unique.
So, is the passion and the almost like innate ability to perform music, is that something handed down from your parents? Do you see that musician in them, or is this something that just kind of sprang to life in you?
So there was an acoustic guitar in the house that I dug up around the time that I started being interested in guitar, and it had 5 strings on it.
Cool.
Something your dad played back
It's
in
something
the
my
day.
dad had back in the day, and he could play the first
Woo,
like
Mom.
15 seconds of La Bamba.
That's enough to pick
And
up
that was
chicks.
it.
La la la.
Yeah.
That's enough
You
to
know.
pick up chicks.
So, and here's another thing is like my parents are both left-handed, and
What
that was a
song-
right-handed
what a
guitar.
song
So
to
this
learn.
is another.
Sorry, what a song? It's a random song to learn. I'm sorry, it's just so random.
La Bamba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that, really?
Well, you have to understand, he's a boomer. That was a big boomer song back in the day, right? It was also, right, there was a lot of like rock and roll trauma from that era. There was like the whole incident with
Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly and them, and then like Richie Valens was not on the same plane,
Yes,
was
he
he?
was.
He was. Okay, so I
Yeah.
couldn't remember if that was 2 separate incidents, but yeah, that was like culturally traumatic for a lot of people. So
And they just latched on to you. So anyway, we interrupted your story, but
I forget what the question.
the music is that the only
So
thing
yeah,
that's in the house?
so that was all that was given to me.
Okay.
So my only explanation. So if I were to frame my whatever I have as some kind of superhero origin story,
Yes, we
it
like
would be
origin
one
stories.
of 2 things. It was both of my parents were left-handed. Left-handed people are supposedly more creative, right? And my parents are absolutely not.
Yep.
And so I think that maybe just skipped a generation into me.
Recessive gene that you got.
So there's that. One would think it would have been handed to my sister, who is older than me, but she's gifted in other ways. She's gifted in scoping people's assholes as a gastroenterologist.
I'm glad the second part was. You nailed the second part. The first one, I had a lot of questions.
I didn't know which word to use, but I just thought we're just going to cut.
Jason's good at that too.
for very different reasons.
It's like
Yeah.
interesting hobbies.
So you have so I have an older sister too.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting parallel. I am not musically gifted per se, but being around her and her always playing music and records, like boosted my interest in music. Did you have the same experience with that? Like, was she into popular music at the time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, my parents let's just say my mom is very much into the arts. My dad is more of a sports guy, and that's cool too. Sort of.
We'll get to that. I've got questions.
We'll unpack this. But my mom was always taking us to movies and stuff like that. But I feel like the one thing that influenced me that I'm super grateful for was culturally significant and has not been seen before or since was MTV.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So like I grew up on MTV. I just sat in front of that TV and watched video after video after video.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Which probably also impacted you being, and we're kind of introducing, kind of unpacking all the things that you are, is you're also a filmmaker.
right. Yeah.
So watching music videos, and they're tiny little movies, and
Absolutely.
and you have done well in making music videos both for yourself and for other people. So where does that all start? Like, where did you go to school for that? And let me guess, Western Kentucky University.
no.
Okay,
Oh, thank God.
finally.
Damn.
It is a popular spot,
And we've had so many guests. I think in several row of people that have. Jamie's from there. Dave, our last guest was. So where did you go to school?
So that was like
Or did you go to school? I mean, I don't
I
know.
did, yeah. So that was kind of an issue when I was trying to choose schools because it seemed like the logical choice in terms of convenience. But it was my understanding at the time that that was more of like a journalism
Correct.
school. So, and I had no interest in journalism. And so I ended up at a place called Pittsburgh Filmmakers Institute, which is a trade school, was a trade school. Up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And so what you could do is you could go through one of the colleges there. They have several colleges, Duquesne, Pitt. I went to this little liberal arts college called Point Park College in downtown. And you could go through that college and take your classes at Pittsburgh Filmmakers if you wanted to get a BFA. Or, as I learned and eventually did, much to my parents' chagrin, you just cut out the middleman and you just go to the film school. And they have like a 2-year certificateship program at community college prices.
Which is just more immersive and get right to it.
They were the same classes, you know,
At half the price.
at like way, I mean, like a very fraction. Of
You
the
said to
price.
the chagrin of your parents because it was 2 instead of 4, and in their minds it was a shortcut, or
Well, I saved them a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't have been mad about it. They were upset that I dropped out of college.
that's
College, like the big.
Yeah, like they were really concerned with the idea that
What's your backup plan? What's your backup plan, Scott?
well, my logic was like I get a piece of paper at the end and I take the same curriculum. And at the end of the day, you know, I think they just come from a world, you know, they just did everything the way that most people do. And they don't understand that in this business, it's different. Who you are. It's different. It's, you know, it's your work. It's the people you know.
The network you build.
Exactly. And they just didn't understand that. And I don't think I understood it at the time either. I just was like, why am I taking, you know, college level, you know, pre-cal classes?
All I want to do is
you know,
this.
Yeah.
exactly.
Why am I
doing all this bullshit?
Good
so,
for you.
So I just went up there and I lived up there for about 6 years off and on. And,
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
yeah.
Wow.
And then I ended up back here in December of 2004.
Wow.
And been here ever since.
What brought you back? Was it just you want to come back and be with the close to the family, or did you have a project?
They run you out.
It was a lot of things.
Get out of Pittsburgh, Scotty.
Pittsburgh is an amazing city if
It
you've
is.
never been.
Yes,
and
it is,
it has one of the greatest reveals of any
Yes.
city I've ever been to if you come from the South.
Yep.
And for those of you who haven't, should I spoil it?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah. So you
We
drive.
only have 14 listeners, so it's
If you're listening, Pittsburgh CVB, this is your chance.
That's right.
sponsorship opportunity right here.
So the last highway you drive on into town, you go through this tunnel through a mountain, and then when you come through that, the city is just right there. And if you aren't familiar with the geography of Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh sits at the delta of the Ohio River.
Yeah.
So the Monongahela and the Allegheny rivers converge to create the Ohio River, and their downtown sits on this triangle there, and that's what you hit.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen The Dark Knight
Yes. The bridges.
Returns,
Yeah.
the shots like Heinz Field, the football field that blows up, and all the bridge shots, like that was a lot of that was shot.
And they
in
still
Pittsburgh.
have those inclinators or whatever they call them.
inclines.
Inclines.
Yeah, which are fucking terrifying, by the way. If you've,
No, I've not done those.
oh my god,
It's like a bigger version of the elevators
Gatlinburg?
in the Luxor Hotel.
yeah,
No thanks.
it's a train on a 45-degree incline or greater, and it just does not seem safe.
Yeah.
at all. It's very rickety.
You get in and there's enough play in it, you think immediately like, oh, this is the time that now it's
There's a cable is going to snap.
They passed that last inspection and skipped it, and now this shit's happening on my watch. Yeah,
And Pittsburgh gets a bad rap for being like this. You know, it's an old steel town. It's all
that's
dirty.
old Pittsburgh.
but it's not like
now it's
at
a big
all.
pharma, biopharma,
Yeah, big time.
tech.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So when I left there, it was still in like the end of its depression, and it was pretty rough. You know,
Yeah.
I don't have anything to compare it to, but it was pretty rough. But you go there now and it's unrecognizable.
Well, and Jason and I had done a series. We used to do a show that was on a 3-city rotation so each time you went through, it was 9 years. And so we hit Pittsburgh 3 times.
Yep.
And I remember thinking all those things first time we were there for a site visit, like, oh yeah, it's an old steel town. And,
don't wear white.
yeah, all of a sudden I hear the Billy Joel track playing in the background of Allentown. Like, yeah, I feel like I know what I'm getting into.
I need to go get a
but-
job at the docks.
Yeah. And you get there and all of a sudden you see like Google beta testing self-driving cars
yeah.
and the biopharma, university. There's a big condensed community of ton of universities right in, that area.
Yeah. So let's talk about what you did when you got back to Louisville. What was your what brought you back? Number one, and did you have a project? Did you jump into something really cool? Because, like you said, you do have your finger in a lot of different pies.
Yeah, so I moved back to make a record. I had written some songs. I was playing in a band in Pittsburgh at the time, so I was playing drums in this band, and one of the guys decided he was going to go to law school, and the other guy wanted to kind of keep it going, but I had this group of songs, and I had done some demos, and I was kind of excited about that. And so my parents at the time were selling my childhood home in Hikes Point, and they had built this monstrosity out near Six Flags Over Jesus, presumably under the, auspices that my sister and I would have children and they would host these,
Large gatherings.
grandchildren and stuff like that. So got them.
The house is done, Scotty. We're waiting.
With the children.
Yeah,
bacon.
my sister checked all those boxes for them, fortunately, so
good.
that I can
Pressure's
continue my
off.
black sheep status.
Good for you.
So they moved out, and so they were already living in this new house, and that my old house was a bit, waiting, and I just assumed I probably would be able to have it for a few months, right? And so I moved home and bought some recording gear and just set up shop there. I've always been kind of like a home recordist.
Yeah.
And I started making a record there. And then before the house even was put on the market, my dad mentioned to a guy, and he came and looked at it, and he bought it immediately.
Oh, wow.
Like
Wow.
very quickly. So where, I got most of
Way
what
to
I
go, Dad.
I know, jerk. And so my girlfriend at the time, who moved down from Pittsburgh, we ended up.
You brought somebody with
I
you.
did, yes. And she's still here. We're no longer together, but she made a life for herself here and
good.
married.
You're welcome.
The next guy, and we're still on very good terms.
Oh,
She's
good.
a lovely woman, and so yeah, I came down here basically to make a record, and it was very complicated, and it took me a long time, and
So what was plan B when Dad screwed you over by getting the house taken care of? Yeah, what'd you do?
so I took all my gear over to their new house in their basement.
Instead of a grandchild, I brought my stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you all need to get the fuck out of your new house and leave me alone so
Did
that
you
I
have
can
space
get some
like
work
in the
done.
basement to set?
Yeah. I mean, the house that they bought was like 3 times the size of the house we grew up in,
all
so
them
they had no
grandbabies.
shortage of space. So I finished it up there. I managed to get most of what I needed to get done at the old house, mainly the drums, the loud stuff. So I was really just doing the bells and whistles at their new place, and yeah,
So
eventually
was this
completed it.
and it's an album that was completed and released in the whole?
Yeah, so I originally released it under my own name, and then later on the second pressing of the CD, we went back and put it in the Wax Fang.
that was
catalog.
that was
This is
the
a-
origin of Wax Fang.
This
was
is a
the-
great segue. Talk about the name. What
Love the
what was
name.
the genesis behind the name?
Well, thank you for saying that. I wish I shared that sentiment.
You're too close to it.
So
Scott.
I wish I had like a great story behind it, but myself and the other 2 guys at the time came up with like an absurd number of names. I mean, it was
We've
like
got a list.
200 names.
Need a few.
I don't know if you've ever tried to
We do have
name
a great
anything,
list.
but it's like especially now, like this was like pre .com boom, so it was easier back then. Now it's like try naming something and getting a decent handle or
Yes.
.com address. Good luck.
Yeah.
We could talk about that more later. But
Moclose.com.
so we whittled it down, and that's basically the one that we all agreed on. We were on a very tight deadline. There was an article coming out in a magazine called The Fader, which was like a music-centric magazine, and we needed to like make a decision, and that's the decision we made.
And what's just like word jumble of like
I guess it would kind of derive from like
Mad Libs
from like the candy, you know, like the Halloween candy, and that's originally what I had written down. And our bass player at the time and his girlfriend, who were both visual artists, they were like, "What about just Wax Fang?"
singular.
I was like, ooh. So, you know, there's a bit of Andy Warhol there. It's just like taking an ordinary object, you know, and, you know, it's really easy to go down the rabbit hole when you're trying to name a band. And we put so much pressure on ourselves. At the end of the day, it's just like, as long, you know, at the end of the day, as long as it's not fucking stupid, what difference does it make? There are plenty of bands out there with mediocre names, the Beatles, that, you know, at the end of the day,
They've done okay.
They've done okay.
Despite
They've
the
done
name.
all right.
Who's this?
So,
The Beatles. You should look them up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are they on Spotify?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
They're on Bandcamp. So,
They're on MySpace.
Speaking of, not to detour, but just full disclosure, it was only within the last 3 or 4 years that I realized the spelling and the play on the word.
Beat. Yeah. Sad trombone. Sir.
So
Not
always
we
so
appreciate
quick.
we appreciate your candor and your,
Stay tuned for
your
more.
honesty.
Stay tuned for more confessionals on my shortcomings. But I
so
digress.
who were the other two guys that were in the band?
Jacob Eustace was the bass player, and Kevin Ratterman was the drummer.
Nice. Yeah, Kevin's gone on to do a few things.
Yeah, he's out in LA now doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's got his studio out there.
Yeah,
now.
and Wax Fang has put out some fantastic music.
Thank you.
And you guys were, I think, were you guys the first recipients of the top award at the Louisville Music Awards, the inaugural year?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
So many awards.
Oh gosh,
They all run together.
my
Jason.
mantle is so full.
My parents have that big house for all my awards.
I honestly, I don't remember. And part of the reason I don't remember, I was so drunk at that award show.
So was everybody there.
So was everybody there. And like, I never expect to win anything. So I just kept, I don't know if there were free drinks or if it was just
Sounds like it.
I'm out on a Wednesday night. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, but I just went hard, and then I had to go up on stage and talk, and it was like, fuck. This is a bad decision.
Look at me. I wrote nothing. Oh, well.
So the night is a bit hazy.
Yeah.
I did actually see that award in this weird corner of my basement that's like covered in cobwebs.
yeah, which I don't think they had those
just
anymore,
yesterday.
right? Like that's gone.
No, they stopped doing it.
It was pretty short lived, for what I remember.
Yeah. I went to the last one was at the Kentucky Center for the Arts.
Yeah.
And I'll tell this a quick aside just because it's kind of
love
funny and maybe she'll hear about it and she'll get the context. But at the for that show, they had members of Louisville Public Media, many of whom, as we know, are musicians.
Yep.
They were going to be like a backing band, and then people were going to come up and sing songs. So like Ja'Cory Arthur came up and did a track, and Chadwick Wild came up and did a song. And it was like Meg Samples, if you remember her. She's a drummer. She played in the DeLoreans and a number of other bands. And then Stephen George, who became president of Louisville Public Media. He resigned about 6 months ago. Great guy. I went to high school with him, and he plays guitar. I forget who played the other instruments, but I was out in the lobby of the Kentucky Center, and I'm shooting the shit with some people, and I'd probably had a few margaritas, and I was just kind of like doing a bit, and I was like, yeah, guys, I heard they're going to close, and Laura Shine is going to jump on stage and sing Killing in the Name of by Rage Against the Machine.
That's fucking brilliant.
Which I thought was just a hilarious joke.
That's brilliant.
Laura Shine, like one of the most pleasant, sweetest human beings on the planet, just Yeah, coming out and singing, screaming, "Fuck you! I won't do what you tell me." But as I was saying this, no shit, Laura Shine and her wife walk behind me, and she's like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I had to retell this whole story to her so that she wouldn't know I was having like a laugh at her, and fortunately her wife was very kind. She was like, it's like, you have no idea the rage is trapped inside of her. So she was very reassuring to me. But I was so embarrassed, it's like, what are the chances of that? I just make some weird thing off the top of my head, and then the person I'm making the joke about
just converged.
Yeah, and then I have to explain the joke to the person I'm making that's in the
It's a lot
joke.
less funny when you have to explain it.
So they were sitting here, and then they were talking, and then I thought it'd be funny, and usually ends with, "Okay." My God.
That's why I miss all those.
Oozle.
I miss all those calm conversations that we had during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
on our live streams. I mean,
On our
because comms haven't been this since.
show comms,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
You're always getting busted by the
Yeah,
client.
speaking of which, there was one funny one where we were in this studio, and I was trying to listen to the talent that was on the set, and there was a lot of chatter behind me. And typically, when you hear a lot of chatter on your comm unit, communication device, you say clear comm. And I said clear comm,
so good.
but ironically, clear comm is also the brand of the comm unit you're using. And Jamie just thought I was just yelling out a brand, and so he goes, "Okay, Sony."
Panasonic?
I'm like,
Why
clear
not?
comm, clear comm.
It was a joke that ran through the entirety of COVID, all the way through like 22. I mean,
But it was
still to this
He
day
just
when
looked at me
somebody
like,
says the word.
"Okay, Sony."
Yeah.
I wish we recorded those conversations.
Right.
Well,
No,
yes,
no, you don't. No, that's right.
To this day, if
I'd like
somebody says the word clearcom,
I
Oh, yeah.
giggle.
in my head,
too.
It tickles me to no end. Yeah.
Pana, and then we turned it into off brands like Panasonic and
Sobe.
Good
Sobe.
days. Yeah.
Sobe, but it's got Sony guts.
So you had this crazy story. Do you have any other fun stories from stage? I mean, you've been on stage a few times, so
Yeah.
Where things have gone terribly wrong.
Oh my God. I mean, so many things have gone wrong.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Is there a collaboration that has stood out that you're like, this was one of those moments where it was just like, I'm in the right place at the right time. We're in a flow together. Have you had one that sticks out above others? Or is it memory?
But besides now,
Yeah, no. Present company excluded.
Also,
For
you're
sure.
welcome.
Yeah.
Gosh, I haven't thought about that in quite some time. But yeah, I've been very fortunate to collaborate with a lot of people. I think maybe one that stood out that was just kind of fun and it got some wind in its sails and it got a lot of press was we did this song during the pandemic.
Yes.
Teddy Abrams and Ben Soley and Ja'Cory Arthur orchestrated this kind of like Louisville ensemble sort of like pick-me-up song
nice.
that I contributed to. It was called like Lift Up Louisville or something.
Yeah.
And we kind of like workshopped it over email. So I submitted some lyrics to that and then they kind of took it and ran with it, and a bunch of people jumped on it and played with it. Jim James from My Morning Jacket ended up singing it. I think Will Oldham was on it. Ja'Cory rapped a section on it.
Was
Teddy
that
Abrams.
entire collaboration remote because of
It was,
that
yeah.
time? So that made it a little odd too, right?
Mhm. It was strange. And then Kevin Ratterman mixed it all, put it all together. But yeah, we just kind of picked the key and the tempo.
And I
And
think I remember
everyone-
the video was like, you guys just like recorded yourselves on your iPhones basically. Then you just like made the video of like, here we are performing it. And
Yeah, so we just kind of lip synced to the song. I
Yeah.
think someone laid down a backing track, basically. They figured out what the structure of the song was, and someone laid down a backing track, and they sent that to everyone, and then everyone kind of laid down their parts and sent in the stems.
Nice.
And then Kevin mixed it all together.
yeah,
So
it's really cool.
I don't remember how the song was. It was probably pretty corny.
Hey, it gave you something to do during COVID.
But I think I was like on the front page of like one of the sections of the Wall Street Journal or something.
nice.
For whatever reason.
That's a good track. You should check it out. We can put it on the link on the website.
Yeah.
So we can
Let's
embarrass you
link to
further.
it.
But one of the one of my favorite collabs that I wasn't there in person was whenever you and Jim James did a cover of My Old Kentucky Home Headliners.
Yes,
Very
really?
cool cover.
that was fun.
Yeah. But what was that for? What was I don't know the setting or the context.
We did a show on Derby Eve, so
Oh,
Oaks
okay,
Night,
yeah,
right?
okay.
Or
That
maybe
would-
it was Thursday.
a Thurby thing.
I think it was. No, this was. I mean, this was way before Thurby, so this would have been in like 2007,
Yeah.
and I think it was Oaks Night.
Okay.
There was like at the time there were like a couple nights of the year where you could kind of amplify your crowd just because of the dates you did them on, and one was Derby Eve and the other one was
They're
Thanksgiving
coming in
Eve.
hot.
So there's just a lot of people in town
Yep.
looking for stuff to do.
Friends hook up
And so
the night
like
before.
Yeah, exactly. And so those were just like two really great opportunities. I don't think it's really like that anymore, but at the time those were two great times to have shows. And a lot of people like prior to our band going, VHS or Beta and My
Yeah.
Morning Jacket
Oh,
would
nice.
do Thanksgiving Eve shows often. At the right around the corner at what it was called Diamonds at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Or no, it wasn't Diamonds. This was like
Jillian's.
pre-Jillian's. Yes.
Jillian.
Yeah, so there's like a showroom in the
Downstairs.
downstairs. Yeah, and it was actually a really nice little setup down
Yeah.
there. So, and then I think that transitioned over to Headliners, yada yada yada. So,
Yeah.
I go back when it was the silo.
Oh, was that what it was
Yeah,
before
yeah.
Jillian's?
Yeah, the silo.
okay,
Before my
wow.
time here.
And
Yeah.
they were ahead of their time because they were like the first restaurant that was like bringing beer, inside. And
Oh, cool.
I mean, in Louisville.
Wow.
Yeah, but check out. We'll put that link too on the. We'll share all.
Yeah, so that
All
was
the
just like a
stuff.
derby festive
But
kind of collaboration.
It is like such a good rendition of that song because like that. Song
Thank
is-
you.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Oh, the sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer that children are gay, and the corn tops ripe, and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day. And the young folks
Yeah,
fun one.
I always had a soft spot for that song. Recently, I think I've decided, like, I think it's kind of been, there's some clear inherent racism in the history of that song.
Tell me more.
I don't.
So, when we, growing up singing it, I don't know how many of you grew up in Kentucky, but
yeah.
like we would sing that song
Yeah.
every
dude.
year around Derby time. That and Run for the Roses.
Well,
Yeah.
First time I saw the second verse for that, growing up as a kid, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Even as a kid, you go, I don't think I should sing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time I was, people my age were singing it, they had changed
Yeah.
the problem words
Oh,
to
really?
another inherently, problem word. I mean, it's not a problem word. The interpretation of that word can be problematic for some people. And so that's the version that we would sing.
Wow. So it's we'll post it on there because it's a really cool version.
Yeah. So, I can't speak to is the song right or wrong? This kind of gets into a larger conversation about like,
Yeah.
Should you still be performing it?
Right. Yeah.
Because
So-
of the context of the history of where it comes from.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I understand that.
Well, speaking of, maybe you can answer this for me. I'm driving around this years ago with my son listening to radio, which was rare because normally you're listening, to whatever your playlist on your phone via Bluetooth. But Whitesnake, somehow on radio play has now changed the lyric. Instead of saying, like a drifter, I was born to walk alone, as I'm listening to it, singing along, it clear as day changes it to like a hobo I was born to walk alone. When did hobo become better than drifter?
Because this story fascinated me so much.
You've looked it up?
I have looked it up. You have it backwards. Hobo was the original word.
No way.
Yep.
This isn't that thing like Berenstain Bears, is it?
Berenstein Bears, yeah. Yeah, hobo.
I never heard
No,
of
because
hobo.
because it was problematic. Like the very first, I read this on.
So they decide to go back to the original?
Somehow somebody has released the original recording, which has hobo. So they didn't change it.
Dude.
Wow.
So weird to
The
hear.
same thing happened to me with Dire Straits' Money for Nothing.
Oh, what?
In what way?
Well,
Please explain.
The second verse they've totally changed.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
What'd they change?
they changed the whole part where they were making fun of George Michael. The second verse of that song, they're making fun of George Michael.
Really?
Really?
And they say some pretty crazy words for the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unaware of that.
So for our next show, we're gonna do some homework.
No, but
circle
it's,
back on
but
this.
it's crazy to see, because you're used to hearing it one way, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
So where did you hear this version then?
On the radio.
Or which station?
It was like a 95.7 or, it wasn't like...
I just wonder if this is some kind of like anti-woke thing.
Maybe.
They changed it. We're going to go back.
Go back to the original.
Blowing off the old vinyl.
Yeah, I looked at my son and he even had heard enough of it prior to know what he was like, what was that? I'm like, they just said hobo.
Yeah, I was really intrigued by this story. You told me this, and I was like, no way.
I mean, Drifter just sounds sexier and more
for sure.
mysterious.
Yeah.
Hobo, it's like
Absolutely.
he's on the train with his little, bandana tied on
Yeah.
a stick. And it's like,
A drifter has a lot more teeth than a hobo. It's
correct. As we know from COVID.
Yes, I know. That's exactly where I'm coming from. A drifter sounds cool.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
hobo's like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Nobody has a cigarette for you.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Like, I wonder if there probably exists because, they used to press singles specifically for radio stations
Correct.
in advance of like a record coming
Yep.
out. And there's a chance that maybe that
that's
version,
it.
but like that would have been like a vinyl
Yeah.
7-inch. And who's playing vinyl 7-inches on the radio these days other than maybe like Matt Anthony?
Right.
Some super nerd found it and then digitized it and like somehow slipped it into the playlist or something like that. Like,
Play this one. It's hobo. Sorry, I didn't mean to go down a rabbit hole.
No, not at all.
we like
It's interesting.
rabbit
But yeah, I wonder if they're going to dust off like the original Stephen Foster lyrics at the Kentucky Derby next year, just because
yikes.
that's the world we live in now.
That is
Yikes.
the world we live in.
You
Which, by the way, we talked a little
Wouldn't
last
shock me.
time, and I've not seen the next episode, but South Park is leading the charge in all of the responses to the current world we live in. And just kudos to those guys.
Absolutely.
It's a fun time to be alive to watch TV.
It is, yeah, it really is. And to those that are not bending the knee, more power to you. Stay strong.
Well, speaking of animated, you have a little bit of claim to fame because one of Wax
nice
Fang's songs was featured in a well-known cartoon animated series, American Dad.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Totally
And it's
random.
also like one of my favorite songs. Like,
Oh, right
I
on.
play it like almost a kind of embarrassing amount of times, actually.
Is this your confessional now
It
that
is.
we've segued
Yes,
into?
Well, I
Are you
wrote
going to fanboy out? Yeah. How did
Can you
it
sign
literally
it for
just,
me?
Did it literally just get heard and discovered on its own without?
Yeah. That song has a weird history because I wrote that in 2003 when I was living in Pittsburgh, and I made a demo on my cassette 8-track
Oh, I love it.
recorder at the house I was living in. And it was like, I wrote this song and I was like almost embarrassed about it because it was so different than anything I had done before or was doing at the time. Like, it was also like the fastest song I'd ever written. It was just like really just like a stroke of inspiration, I guess you would call
And
it.
so you started second guessing yourself?
Yeah. Well, I'd never sang like that, like
Okay.
I grew up playing in punk bands and, Kurt Cobain was kind of like, I kind of like modeled my singing after him. So it's like melodic screaming basically.
And this, is
then
this has an operatic feel to it.
it did. Yeah. So the band I was playing drums with at the time, we came down to record with Will Oldham's brother, Paul, who had a recording studio out in Shelbyville, Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
At the time. So he made a lot of great records out there. And the guys I was playing with, they swapped instruments, kind of Gila Tango style. So they both wrote songs and then they would switch between guitar, bass, and keyboards and whatnot. And so they had a section of a song and they were like, I don't feel like I could sing this. Do you want to give it a try? And I jumped into the foyer of his house and we threw up a microphone and I just
Belted it out.
belted. Just something came out of me that had never happened before, and it kind of surprised all of us, and it was cool, so we kept it. And I think that's kind of like where that's, I felt like I had discovered something about myself that I didn't know was possible, and this song just kind of came out of nowhere, and it seemed like I should sing it this way. But I'm, as an autodidact, I'm also like, at least at the time, was extremely ignorant of how music works. I didn't really know how music worked until, about a decade ago, because I had to start teaching it to children. So I had to learn how to, I had to explain it. But at the time, like I didn't know how keys worked. I didn't know what ranges were or anything like that. I knew how to play chords, and I had trained my ear teaching myself how to play several musical instruments so I could like figure things out quickly, and I had a good memory and so on. And that's how I navigated through music, just by pure brute force. And so when I demoed that song, I had written it in a key that I could not sing in. And so I pitch shifted my tape recorder down. And I sang it like this into the machine, and I just kept like experimenting with it so that when I turned it back to normal speed, it would sound like a natural voice, like what I felt like would be my natural voice. Wow. Because you just have to, when you slow things down, it also it affects the pitch, for you young kids out there who don't know what recording on tape is. The tape machine runs at a speed, an IPS, and if you adjust that in any way, not only does it adjust the tempo of the song, it also affects the pitch.
IPS,
of the song.
inch per second?
Mm-hmm, inches per second. And it also...
Sorry.
How dare
Set you
you?
up for that one.
How dare you?
Sorry. Just had to go there.
I am so glad I didn't have anything to drink in my mouth. That would have been a spit take for sure.
No, please continue, Don. You were saying?
So it affects the tempo, it affects the pitch, but it also affects the timbre. So when, I had to figure out a way that I could sing in slow motion, because if I sing like this really in slow motion and you speed it up, the timbre is going to change.
Yeah.
So I would have to also muffle my voice a little bit.
So is this just trial and error?
There's a lot of just trial and error
Yeah,
with my tape
that's
machine to try to figure it out. And so then once I completed the song, and I was like, okay, so I was kind of embarrassed about it, and I played it, with some friends. I think I left a CD in their car or something. I was just like, by the way, there's this song I just recorded, and
Skip it.
give it a listen, and if you hate it, I don't want to know. Just forget it ever happened. Just throw it in the trash or whatever. And it just got like a good reaction, and it was kind of like the first of a new era of songwriting for me.
Nice.
And so that was like the genesis of what would later become Wax Fang, right? And so then fast forward, I wrote essentially 2 albums worth of material. I came back home to Louisville. I recorded one of those albums. I mixed it with Kevin Ratterman. He ended up joining the band. We poached Jake from another band, and Wax Fang was born. And then we made the next album, which was called La La Land, which features the song in question. And that came out in like 2007 or something like that. And then, fast forward several years, nothing really happened with the band, and we were kind of fizzling out. And I was driving to Pittsburgh, of all places, to visit some friends up there, and I got a phone call with an LA area code, and I was immediately hung up on them. Because I was like, I don't know anyone in LA.
Yeah.
Spam.
Exactly. I was like, and then they left a message, and I listened to the message, and it was this fellow named Mike Barker who worked on the show American Dad. He was one of the 3 people, along with Seth MacFarlane and another gentleman whose name I forget, who founded the show, and he was like one of the 2 head writers, him and the other guy that was not Seth MacFarlane. Seth, I think, really just kind of produced.
Sure.
It was like more of an executive producer of the show, but I think the 3 of them kind of conceived of it, and then the other 2 guys kind of like ran the show, basically. So he kind of like told me what he was doing, and he was writing the show. So just to go backwards for a second, we had done a series of shows opening for My Morning Jacket, and one of which was on or around Halloween time. And this super fan of theirs from LA came into town to make a little mini documentary for like, I don't know if it was his like senior thesis kind of deal.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was going to UCLA or whatever, but anyway, he came into town, and he kind of, just to kind of complete his story about this show, big hometown show that they were playing, came to one of our rehearsals, and we got along really well with him. And then he recorded our set that night, which was horrendous, which I can get into if you want. But anyway, so he made this little short film, and we were a part of that. And then he took it back to LA.
And you did this number as part of that set that night? That got
Probably,
recorded?
yeah. I mean, I think we played it at like most shows.
Gotcha.
It was always like a very popular tune, right? And so, he coincidentally was like an intern or something at
Nice.
whatever
That's how this shit works.
at the on the show, basically, and was listening to our music, and this guy overheard it. And he was in the middle of writing this episode, and he was just stuck.
Love it.
And he heard this song, and it just opened his creativity up somehow. And he was calling to talk about using the song in the show, which I was like,
And what I love, just to interject for anybody that isn't aware, when Jason had shared the link, it's not used in a traditional sense of, oh, let's play this track in the
backing track.
background during this. It's full on, like, talk about germinating something within this guy. It was like, oh, now the animation is actually creating characters that are singing the song.
Yeah, the character
And
is named after the track.
Yeah,
Like, he is the Majestic.
It's
yeah.
badass.
yeah, it's just so random. And, I felt really strange. I had to break it to him. And it was like, I don't watch animated comedies. I don't know what your show is.
I'm a big
I've
sports
never
fan.
heard of it. Yeah, I only watch MMA. So I really had to and I had no idea how any of the stuff worked. So it was like really eye opening. And so we talked a lot and became friends. And so he wrote the song into the show. Yeah. And then we negotiated that I would also score the show. So I did all of the music in that episode, except for this one other, like the very last piece of music in the episode, which is kind of a sort of classical composition.
Did you enjoy the process?
Yeah, it was amazing. I had no fucking clue what I was doing. I mean, I was hacking my way through it, absolutely 100%. I mean, and this guy was like, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. I love him. And he's like, I don't know if you guys feel, this is kind of off topic, but I'll make it brief, but I don't know if you guys feel and I'm not like a religious person, but I don't know if you feel like you have like guardian angels that have like intervene, like a divine hand has stepped into your life and like changed it miraculously for the better.
Yes.
So, for lack of a better adjective, I might have called them my guardian angels, even though I denounced my Catholic upbringing. No offense to anyone who subscribes to that. But so Mike Barker has become one of those people. And
that's great.
And I forget where I was going with this, but
just the process of scoring that and doing something you'd never done before, and sort of this fake it till you make it.
Yeah, so he just kind of
disappoint.
Exactly. Yeah, he really did a great job of like guiding me through that, and has kind of become this person for me. But what I was going to say is, he and his like two writing buddies that were not involved with the show, he had this like group of friends, and when we would go out there to visit with them, they would constantly be smoking like military grade weed.
Military
grade. I mean, it was like nuclear.
And what was it? Was it rolled? Was it in a bong? What was the delivery device?
It was like I believe they were blunts or very large joints. I can't remember which. Wow. But so like there was like one instance where we were going to go to the studio, which was like, I forget, it wasn't originally Fox. I forget what it was. Anyhow, we were going to go to the studio and watch like a cut of the episode with some music. And we get over there and they're just like
blazing up,
like walking in the door, and they just hand you a joint, and and it wasn't
Rome.
It's like the type of weed where you take like one hit and you're like hallucinating. It was like that, except they were smoking like 3 at a time, and
to go watch American Dad, which in of itself is already just a trip to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sober.
It was so bizarre. So then we got like super high, like massively high, and then walked into this meeting with all these
people you don't know.
Yeah, and they're, I'm like, have my laptop, and I'm like, what do I need to do? They're like, we have this editing system. We're not watching it on your fucking laptop, dude from Kentucky. Yeah. Fucking
and open your fucking eye.
Back in the early 90s, when somebody came up with a record, the only way to really promote it back then was like the commercials at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, so-and-so album coming out, go to Disc Jockey now. Yeah.
Disc Jockey.
Or whatever it was, So we did one for Days of the New. And,
cool.
And so when Travis was down at Distillery Commons, he was like, come on down, meet us, but sort of same thing.
Mm.
Same thing. It was the weirdest fucking thing. It was military grade marijuana.
Mm-hmm. Aggressive.
And he had this fucking, like animal. It looked like a guinea pig that he had on a fucking leash that he was feeding the cockroaches.
One does.
And you're high as fuck going, what is that thing? Why is he feeding the cockroaches?
You just walked into Naked Lunch.
Dude, it was like a extended scene from Boogie Nights. It was the strangest thing that did you ever work with Travis at all? Or
no, I have a funny story about him. That's
great musician.
I don't know anything about him. The drummer of that band, Ray Rizzo, is a lovely man, and he does a lot of stuff. He lives up in New York, but he comes back and does all these like Mother Lodge events. They're all fundraisers and whatnot. I think now it's called the Everybody Band. He also plays in Back to Mac, really excellent Fleetwood Mac cover band, tribute band, excuse me.
Yeah.
And then the guitar player of that band, Craig, oh my God, I can't believe I'm spacing on his name. One of the best guitar players in town.
Oh, wow.
6 strings isn't enough, so I think he has 7. But he's a phenomenal guitar player. He plays with Carly Johnson a lot around town. So I mean, makes me feel like a child on a guitar. It makes me want to just give up, right? And so, but yeah, super talented. But I couldn't tell you what their music sounds like. But back in the day, we were at a White Castle at like 2 a.m, the White Castle in St. Matthews, and there was a guy there by himself, and we were like little fuckers, crust punks. And this guy, strikes up a conversation, and we're talking, we get on to music, and he's like, yeah, you guys ever heard of Days of the New? And we're just like, fuck that band. That band fucking sucks, just like, we just tore it in half, just like all of us just like ganged up on this dude. And he was like, yeah, that's my nephew. And we're like, oh, buddy,
Buy you a burger.
sorry, we'll get you a bag of sliders for the way home or something. It was just really bizarre. But that's all I can say about Days of the New. I never heard their music.
So circle back. Did you come out the other end of this moment in the studio out in LA super high? Like, how'd it play out?
Yeah. So,
Once you realized you didn't have to play it on your laptop.
Yeah, once I let the like professional studio guy handle all playback duties, yeah, it was interesting. I think after that moment, I was like, oh, I'm not doing a presentation. Yep. I'm just
here to enjoy.
I'm just sitting in the corner of the room and keeping my mouth shut.
He went back to the hotel and sing himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Justify my love. Oh yeah.
Totally. So yeah, it was just a lot of weird experiences like that. Yeah. So we got through that. That was the only moment of its kind. But when we would go out there, I felt like I had to train. So I would like try to smoke like copious amounts of weed to go out there, and then I would inevitably go out there, and we would just be hanging out in the studio, and they would just be passing around these giant joints, and I would just pass out. Like
I would picture you like a Rocky montage of you just smoking weed instead of pumping iron.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like, all right, we're gonna go out there in 3 weeks. We better get to work.
Got to do a montage.
Do a montage. That's what I'm going to do. Just tell my wife I'm practicing.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
That's nice.
You're training. You're training for what? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? It's going to come in handy at some point, I promise. Yeah, so very weird experience. All new.
And what a interesting thing, because you're a video guy and filmmaking, music. It was like it all kind of like came together in this weird Venn diagram of like you being in production and going to witness all this. So, what have you been doing in terms of video, film production, like in the past few years? What have been some of the projects you've been working on in addition to the music thing?
Yeah, so I turned 40 many years ago, not many, but several years ago, and I think
we've talked about it many times.
Yes, I'd entered
Passion
in. I don't know if
projects.
you guys have had an existential midlife crisis, but
yes.
that kind of happened where I was
Going
just
through
like,
it,
just like, what am I actually going to do for a living?
When will I grow up?
Because music, yeah, exactly. I mean, I love making music, and if I could just get paid to do that, like, of course, I would do it. And even if I had to continue teaching, and that's all I did, I did that for a long time, and it was fantastic. But it was clear that if I wanted to live the life that I want to live, I'd probably needed to maybe consider doing something else that I was not as passionate about. But so I went down this whole rabbit hole of what I was going to do with my life, and then was considering maybe going back to school, getting into like cybersecurity or something that had like a good point of entry for older folks, that paid well or whatever. I say that like I'm 60 or something, but so I was like, what am I talking about? Like, I went to school for filmmaking. I've never given it an honest go aside from just making music videos for my friends for, a couple $100, once or twice a year, which I did just to kind of like keep my hands on something while I was busy with the band. So then I kind of decided I was going to go down that rabbit hole, and that's kind of where I'm at today. So I bought I was new to the whole mirrorless cameras, when I went to school like yourselves, I was shooting on Super 8 and 16 millimeter film and cutting film. So there was a lot I needed to learn. There was a pretty big learning curve that I needed to get into. particularly with mirrorless cameras. I wasn't even sure what kind of camera I was going to get. You know, the last camera I had was like a Canon 5D Mark II, which was stolen from my house. And that kind of like put a decade stop in my filmmaking career because I took that insurance money and just bought a couple guitars or something. Practice weed. Practice weed. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
What, dude? That's
Exactly.
What you do, dude. Yeah.
Exactly. Practicing. I just practice all the time.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah.
So I bought like a mirrorless camera. I bought a still camera because I was like, I can't shoot multiple frames a second until I understand what the single frame can do.
Good for
So I spent about 6 months doing that, and then I think I was watching and again, not to throw sports back in the mix, but I was at I think I was at a Godfather's Pizza in Lexington, and they had a football game on, and this would have been like 2019, 2020, before the pandemic or something like that, and someone scored a touchdown and some dude ran into the end zone with a little camera on a little stick and did this really cool cinematic shot. And I was like, what the fuck camera is that?
that new shift in depth.
Yeah.
of field.
So there was that whole thing. And particularly for me, like I have a bad back. Like I had scoliosis when I was in grade school. It quickly progressed. I had back surgery when I was 15 and I have 2 titanium rods fused to either side of my spine.
Oh, wow.
So part of the sort of like what has deferred me from going into filmmaking is like
The gear. Yeah.
Like I just was not, and also I was like a little twerpy musician. So like I had no muscle for a
And
very
then
long
you
time.
see this guy, like, ooh, what
Yeah,
the
so I was
hell
like,
is that about?
that looks light. Yeah. That looks like it weighs less than 20 pounds. Maybe I could use that. And I looked it up and it was a Sony A7S III. And then coincidentally, my very good friend who has also been the acting manager of the band since like 2006 or 7, who also is the current bass player, works for Sony Music Publishing in Nashville.
Oh, nice.
And so he introduced me to the Sony family plan.
Nice.
And so I discovered like I could save like an insane amount of money
Good for you.
on Sony gear. You know, I always wanted to be a Canon guy. I think everyone wanted to be a Canon guy at one point, right? They make
Good
great
marketing.
great imaging, great images. So, but I was like, or I could save like thousands of dollars and have more stuff. And so I just ended up just buying a bunch of gear and then got into video work, started getting my first clients. I'd been doing a Texas Roadhouse conference with Dave Boone, who was on the show last, since 2017, which is how I met Jason. And we were using like the, Blackmagic Ursa cameras, which are, you know, and I, using those, it was like, nope. It was like an ENG rig. It was heavy. And, I'm like walking around these hotel properties with that thing and a fucking set of like heavy ass sticks. Yeah. And it,
12 hours a day.
yeah. And it sucked, but it paid well. So I was like, okay. So that's how, fast forward, just kind of have just been.
And that's your business. Like that's one of your, like your means of making money is
it is my primary source of income
you have a
at
video
the moment.
production
company. I didn't know what I all was going towards, and so I finally decided like, I think I'm just it feels like I'm working towards like launching like a media production company of sorts, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. So in October of last year, I launched my little media production company called Chromatomic. And so I just do a lot of, similar to Dave, do a lot of like, smaller client work, run and gun kind of style, mostly trying to sort of break out of that. I don't know if I foresee myself doing something quite as elaborate as what going on here, but I think my business model is more like, I do a lot of one-man crew work, and then I bring on other people. So the way I kind of look at it is more like a network.
Yeah.
And just bringing in people as needed for depending on the job, trying to save clients money on overhead and whatnot. And in the meantime, working mostly with people who, can't, that everyone needs video, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But not everyone can afford video.
Exactly.
Because that shit gets real expensive real quick.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to find ways to enable people who can't afford, to hire big crews and do fancy stuff with the nicer cameras, you know, Airflexes and whatnot. An opportunity to still produce video content for their businesses and grow their reach, you know, on a more reasonable budget.
That's really great.
So it's a little bit of a niche market.
Yeah, which is cool to know that that's how great and like Louisville is a great market that I don't think people really realize.
Yeah.
The fact that we've had as many creative people on this show as we had already, and they're all pretty much in business for themselves. Most of them are like their own individual business, and there's enough work to go around.
Yeah.
And Louisville is this really magic place that has so many creative people and very talented people in it. It's like this untapped resource, or maybe it's really fully tapped, but it's just really cool, like just to be able to be in that environment and to be around all these super creative people. It's pretty amazing. And
I don't know. It gets into my practice time.
Cutting into your practice. Yeah, I see that. I don't know. On the other side, I feel like you're ready.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they call, I
Yeah.
think you're going to be
You're
ready.
for the big leagues, buddy.
Yep.
Cool.
I think you're ready.
So what are you working on now? You had texted me that you have a couple projects now that you're doing for the first time in a while. Like
Yeah, I've been
music
trying
for the
to
first time in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, this whole time I've been building this business, I have not been making other than just keeping
As
my
we
chops
say,
up.
cobbler's kids have no shoes.
Yeah.
Like you've been
Yes.
servicing everybody else's needs and not your own.
Exactly. So I've, you know, other than just like taking ideas down in my phone and trying to keep those organized, like I really haven't written anything. Actually, I finished my first song since 2019 or 2020, like last week.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how I feel about it, but I did it.
But you
But
did
it's a
it.
beginning.
It is, yeah. So that's exciting. And then I agreed to play a friend of mine's backyard. She does, her and her wife do like a little backyard sort of music thing.
nice.
Is this Rage Against the Machine with Laura Shine?
It is, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it
Like for real, is it?
no.
Because put me down.
Because when and
I
where.
want to go. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
Bring a
absolutely.
dish. What's the deal?
I make a mean casserole.
So it's invite only, sadly, as it was told to me. So I imagine that means I can
The thing
bring my
might get
girlfriend.
lost.
And that's it.
Is that weird? Is it in the mail? Is it TBD?
So anyway, so yeah, I haven't played a show. I mean, I haven't played a full set of songs since 2018.
Oh, wow.
So
minute.
it's been a very long time.
And what's
Yeah.
your feeling? I mean, getting on stage for anything is daunting as it is.
Sure.
But now put a little bit of distance between the last time and now. What's that feeling like right now? Or is it sunk in yet?
It maybe hasn't sunk in yet. I'm sure as the date approaches, it will become, terrifying.
Sure.
It might, but on the other hand, there's this timeline that's elapsed. And so your growth between that time on stage in 18
Yeah.
and 7 years later might surprise you. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I feel seasoned.
Yeah, I think I'm interested to see how it pans out.
Yeah.
I
I mean, you
always
definitely
get,
want
like-
the nervous feeling. Otherwise, you're going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
acting. If
Yeah.
you're not nervous,
Exactly.
you're
there's
not
al-
doing it
But
right.
there's also that self-discovery of, as you said, like we've all kind of gone through this, we're middle-aged guys and going through the process of being okay with yourself. And then to know that you've done this before and then you can do it again. There's probably some comfort in that, I would imagine, that you can rely on that to get up there and go and do the thing. Like, I've done this. It's not the first time I've done this.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
there's a history there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not at all worried about it, I guess.
Good guys, you're making him worried now. Come on, guys.
You're welcome.
He's driving off today like, God damn it.
I wasn't worried.
I can't do that show. I got to call her now.
Do you have a backup plan?
It's funny because I committed to this show like over a year ago. She asked me to play. She does this kind of as a series, and
cool.
this is a former student she's a little older than me,
wow.
and she was taking piano lessons for me for quite some time, and she's very well connected. She's a visual artist and a painter. Her name's Rita Cameron. She does lovely art, sort of, how would I describe them? They are, I clearly didn't go to art school.
stuff on the
I
wall.
want to say interpretive, but it's like, what is the style of art? Like Monet. What is he?
Like
do?
an impressionist.
It's impressionistic art.
nice.
Yes. And
I was calling you a year ago to. She really
asked me to
respects you and
plan
thinks
her.
you're booked
she
up.
did, and well, she wanted me to play last year.
Oh, okay.
And I said, "How about next year?" Thinking like surely
She'll forget.
a year or so from then, I would have my shit together, and maybe I would have written some new songs and stuff like that. And then
She called up
Here
and
we
you
are.
remembered, like, oh no, I blew that year.
I know. I was kind of hoping she forgot. And then I saw her at a show recently, and she was like, "Hey, you still want to play this October like we talked about last June?" And I was like,
It's this October.
"Well, it ended up being late September."
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not as prepared as I was hoping to be. My whole thing was like, the idea of playing my old songs just seems kind of boring.
Yeah.
Because I've just played them to
You wanna
death,
have some
and
new
I just
stuff.
wanted to have something new and exciting. And so now that that's not happening, I may or may not play this other new song, but
You could always go back to the original lyrics of my
Yes.
Kentucky Home.
exactly.
The
Yes.
original lyrics.
I go Kentucky Home and perform that.
Gonna go historical here for you folks.
That's
Go ahead
right.
and turn your phones on and record this one.
Here's my handle.
Y'all want to blow up on social media? You're going to record this one.
2, 3, 4. Oh god.
Yeah.
Do you ever fantasize about doing something like that? I mean, just to freak people out. Just
Well, it's
do,
like,
do you like shocking people? What do you do?
You
what do you
know-
do for fun? What are you doing for fun these days?
it's not music or production related. Yeah.
What am I doing for fun?
Good question, Gene.
What are you
Great
watching?
question.
What's in your algorithm?
Yeah, that's a question we always ask our kids.
Okay,
Like what's in your either digital algorithm or physical algorithm?
And I have to call out and give kudos your shirt that you're wearing.
Oh, yes. Mr. Lynch.
So much love for David Lynch, but
I was like, I don't know who this guy is on my shirt. It's just a.
I got this at the Goodwill.
what?
I thought he was.
I thought he was on Money, isn't he?
I thought it was Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, what do you watch? What do you do to chill?
Yeah. So I mean,
What do you consume?
I don't know how you guys feel, but like,
Military grade marijuana.
I do what my work. I love my work, right? So,
As we all do.
most of the time, like when I'm not playing with cameras and musical instruments for work, I'm also doing it for fun.
For fun.
Yeah.
And I work a lot. So I don't have a ton of downtime, and when I have downtime, I'm typically pretty tired. So most of what I do, I spend a lot of time with my lovely partner, Krista,
Nice.
and our soon-to-be 9-year-old Labrador Retriever Border Collie mix, Maeve.
May.
So we go on lots of walks and stuff like that, and we hang out in the backyard. We go to lots of concerts. We travel for concerts. I'm going with Dave Boone to Denver next week.
What are you seeing?
I've been to Red Rocks during the day, never seen a show there.
not
We're going to go
either.
see
It's on my
LCD Sound System with TV on the radio on Wednesday. And then 2 days later, we're going to see the first night of My Morning Jacket's 2-day run.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to see two shows at Red Rocks.
Red Rock is amazing. I've only been there once, and we saw the Avett Brothers.
Yeah.
to enjoy some Colorado time.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah,
You gonna get
speaking
some
of
hiking
military
in?
grade weed.
Exactly. I was going to say, speaking of practicing.
Yeah, that's right.
Practicing.
It's we're training at a high altitude
Exactly.
next week.
A whole nother layer.
It
added
is
to it.
exactly. It really puts the pressure on your body's ability to.
I believe in you, Scott.
Well, I'm a firm believer of where there's a will, there's a way.
Well, and
Where there's a need, there's a weed.
That's right.
as Malcolm told us all, it's that 10,000 hour rule. So just keep the clock running. And,
That's right.
Yeah. You're on your
absolutely
way.
Professional, yeah.
Yeah. So we travel to see shows. Not a lot of shows that we want to see come through town.
Right.
And so we travel a lot to see shows. So we do quite a bit of traveling around concerts and
That's
whatnot.
awesome.
So we do that, and then we kick back and watch some shows.
Yeah. What's on your watch list? Anything stand out? From
So yeah, I mean, gosh, You know, I don't know how you guys
So
feel,
much.
but it's just like we're living in the golden age of television,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah,
it's
we
almost
are.
like it all blurs together.
Too much.
Yeah.
Apple has some great shows that we've really been enjoying.
Apple's
You
the
know,
best right
aside from Ted Lasso, we really enjoyed Shrinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's coming back in October.
Yep.
Just saw
Shrinking's
that.
great.
Yeah, the second season of Platonic just came out.
Oh, did it
with,
come out?
Seth
I really
Rogen and
liked
Rose
the- I
Byrne.
really liked the
yeah,
first season.
they have like a really fun chemistry
Yeah.
that started in a feature that they made. It came out, I think, during the pandemic or just before. It's kind of like,
Yeah, Platonic was a good season.
yeah. So there's that. We're watching Smoke right now.
Oh, it's good.
We're
Is that the
finishing it.
investigative?
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting.
Is that
I don't love it.
Taron.
Yes.
Yes.
What's his name?
Edgerton.
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 Is that right?
Edgerton.
Edgerton.
I
He was
don't
in the
Kingsman.
Kingsman movies. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
which
And
was
we
strange.
just saw him in Blackbird, which is
I heard that's great.
Blackbird is very good.
I just finished it.
Yeah,
Nice.
I thought that was excellent.
That acting, and I forget the guy's name that played the main character alongside him, who just masterclass job. I mean,
Oh,
he's
really?
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're halfway through The Studio with Seth Rogen. Speaking of
Yes.
Seth Rogen.
Uh-huh.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It's nice and light, but a lot of inside.
But although it, Tony and I watch it, and there was one episode that she's like, I don't know if I can finish this. It was the
Oner.
The Oner.
Mm-hmm.
She was.
The what?
There was so much anxiety. It was a one shot. The whole shot. The whole episode is a one shot.
Yeah.
Which one was it? Was that the mushrooms episode?
No, it was the episode where they go to the on set at the house.
And he pulls up right in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
The whole and like it's very meta. They're talking about it being like there's the greatest the oneers in Hollywood, and the whole episode is a oneer. It's only like a 20-minute episode, so it's super short. But it's so anxiety driven, like the whole time, and it's like I don't
If
know
that bothered her, Adolescence is another one. I don't know if that's on anybody's radar.
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
thing
yeah.
shot
Yeah.
one to the point that like 20 minutes in the first episode, I'm like, wait a minute, stop, rewind, like, oh my god,
Yeah,
like
The
an amazing.
the technicality of that. I haven't seen it, but I know about it. But like I've read about it.
It's add it to your watch list. It's really
it's a Netflix show. Right?
really good. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff. I mean, there's no time.
Yeah, there's
just
not
no
enough
time.
time.
But you make an interesting point because yes, I agree. Golden age of television. There's more to watch now of everything that's ever existed, plus the new stuff. But I do find myself like somebody. Oh, have you seen this? I don't think so. And then 20 minutes into them telling me about it, like, oh yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
But it's because it's in the midst of all this other stuff that because I just consume the shit out of it.
yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah,
all that
it all
practice.
just kind of
Oh,
blurs
it's a
together.
dream come true. Like, this is back from being a little kid and having to wake up at a certain time on a Saturday morning to binge watch cartoons. I finally feel like technology is caught up with what I wanted then.
Yeah. Although I love that there's so much stuff out there, but I also hate the fact that I don't have time to go back and rewatch things as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And you start deciding on like, yeah, that's not going to make the list.
Yeah,
no time.
because there's like
Just
some
too
old
much
movies I
time,
want to go
too
back
much
and
time,
rewatch or like watch with the kids or something like.
You
hey, we
have to
should-
really be intentional. Because
Yeah, like I rewatched during the pandemic, Big Trouble in Little China.
Did you really?
I watched that recently.
I regret that decision.
What
Really?
What made you
Interesting.
both go? Why that? What happened?
Because as a kid, I loved it. I thought it was like one of the greatest movies ever made, and I rewatched it. And I was like, "Oh, this is not great, like at all."
How old were you when you saw it? Best guess.
12, 11?
That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And I
your
should've-
12-year-old self.
I should have left it there.
Yeah, I mean, I
And you
run into
you
that.
watched it recently too, or no?
I did. Yeah, I was on a bit of a John Carpenter kick.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, there are highlights that are like great for sure.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm able to appreciate it from my
The campiness and
from my like childhood brain.
yeah.
What I liked about it.
But
then.
for a
I mean, I
solid,
wouldn't
like-
consider it a great film.
No,
I wouldn't consider it one of his better
No,
films
no,
per
absolutely.
se. But sure, at face value, it's fun, it's silly, it's
I mean,
you
like there's the one line that my daughter's boyfriend and I still say to this day after, and we watched it during the pandemic, so it's been 4 or 5 years since we watched it. We'll still say, "Gonna call the president." It's like why that line did not make any sense in the context. It doesn't make any sense in any context, but it's hilarious.
Speaking of campy, has anybody seen the new?
I hear it's great.
What?
So the new airplane.
Oh,
That-
Naked
that-
Gun.
Naked Gun.
Yeah, Naked Gun. So
Have you seen it?
no, I haven't. But it reminded me. I just ran across this morning. It reminded me of the writers, back in the day, Airplane.
Oh,
and that
yeah.
Lee Squad, and The writers of Airplane, this is a fun fact, spent $60,000 on a practical joke. They bought a racehorse. They named it All Pink and told the jockey to ride close to the inside rail rather than trying to win. The goal was finally achieved years later when they tried it. They tried it with 3 horses over 4 years, and finally in 1993, the announcer made the call, and it's all pink on the inside.
That's awesome.
$60,000, 3 horses, over 4 years for the joke to land, just so they could hear, and it's all pink on the inside.
I love
How awesome is that?
I wish I had that kind of fun money.
That's what we call disposable income.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
AKA fuck you money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about the new Naked Guy.
I have two. 'Cause
Like it's written by what's his name from
Seth MacFarlane.
No, it's from one of the Lonely Island guys.
That's right.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, and they say like the LPMs, the laughs per minute.
Yeah.
It's just like the entire movie is just jokes.
Well, and from what I've seen in the trailer, they're very good at acknowledging time that's passed.
Sure.
And the irreverent tone in it. You know, even in the trailer, when you see they go down the line, each of them are related to original cast members.
They come
and
to
then
OJ.
it cuts to OJ, and it just cuts to the sound like, nope. Nope. Mad props for
I was
that.
actually, I wasn't expecting anything, but we watched the new Happy Gilmore, and it was
Oh, is it worth a watch?
it's worth the watch.
Is it?
It's pretty funny.
Okay.
I mean,
I've been hesitant.
there's one bad plot line in the whole thing, but you get over that, and it's.
I saw he's drawn a line in the sand, basically backing up, saying, "Look, Rob Schneider's
Schneider.
my friend, and
Yep.
I'm going to do this. Hope I, doesn't piss people off, but I mad respect for his sense of loyalty and
Yeah, it's on my list, but it's on a long list, so we'll see if we get to it. Yeah. We were trying to watch Mickey 17. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
it's
I
on my
did. I
list.
saw that in
I
the
haven't
theater.
started yet.
We've made it halfway through. It's a lot longer than I was anticipating, so it's a little bit of an effort. Did you watch it?
I did. I saw it in the theater.
Oh, really?
What did you think?
I enjoyed it. I'm not sure if you're familiar with his films.
Pattinson is a great actor.
Oh yeah, he's
I
fantastic.
think he's
yeah,
phenomenal.
I mean, I think I think for in this day and age, for an original story
Yeah.
that isn't attached to any other IP, to have a theatrical release and that kind of budget and star power is a feat
Yes,
in and
it
of
is.
itself.
Yeah.
It is.
And I think
No one's wearing a cape, and
yeah, and I think it's got a lot of merit to it. I think it's very interesting. Like, was it my favorite movie? No. And was it my favorite movie of his? Probably not.
But it made you think. Like I'm like we're not finished with it, but I'm still thinking about it. So
Yeah,
any
but-
movie that does that
oh, that's interesting.
feels like it's a good.
Absolutely, and he's a master storyteller. If you've never seen his movie, Parasite, he made Parasite, which is an incredible movie.
Yeah.
He made this
It's a
movie called The
fantastic
Host, which is kind of fun and kind of in the same vein. And then he also made this movie on Netflix back in like the late teens called like Onja or something like that.
Oh.
It's another kind of like he likes kind of creature.
Yep.
Was that the
know.
one that looks like a hippo sort of?
Yeah,
creature?
yeah, it's like a furry.
I never saw it.
So,
It's set in my watch list forever.
Same.
I never
Same.
saw it.
so yeah, he's very talented
Yeah, people
filmmaker.
told me
so.
they either love Mickey 17 or they hate it.
I don't hate it. It's just it's different. I mean, like which is good. I think
Yeah.
different is always good because, like I said, like, if you're still talking about it, then that's made an impact on you. So.
Yeah. I think that was also his first English speaking movie. So it was definitely like his crack at a Hollywood movie,
yeah,
you
Yeah. What's still with his take on it and being the kind of there's a slight absurdity to it.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of his films do.
Yes. He has like some pretty interesting comedic undertones
Yeah,
to a
for
lot of his
But I didn't
movies, for sure.
expect it to be funny. And like
Sure.
Pattinson's take on the character is this kind of weird, meek and kind of geeky guy that you don't think is the protagonist in a sci-fi movie. So
Right.
it's an interesting take. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're getting close to the end here.
Yeah. Okay.
So
You've done really
can-
good.
Oh, thanks, guys.
You've
A
done
lot better than David Boone said.
100%.
Yeah, he said that guy's gonna
100%.
suck.
I know. He's like, dude, he's anxiety in a jar. He's like, he's got a performance coming up in October. I don't know how he's going to do it.
Talk about it a lot.
I may seem calm and collected out here, but in here, there's a
Storms
lot
are brewing.
going on. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's been a pleasure, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, I really appreciate you being on and talking about all the things that you've done. It's a pretty amazing resume, I gotta say. So,
Well, thank you.
and it's a pleasure to call you a friend. So,
Oh, right back at you.
but yeah, thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for being on and saying yes to this again this week. So
Didn't know it was an option.
Yeah, I didn't either.
you could say no, except
I'm going to go home and practice. See you guys.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Laters.
Jeff Fisher, you insist you have a right to be returned safely to Earth. On what grounds do you base this preposterous notion?
On the grounds that when you guys abducted me, you separated me from true love.
Are you willing to take the test to prove it?
I am.
Well, okay then. Let's wake up the Majestic.
Wait, what?
Well, how did you think this test works?
I didn't know what to think, man.
Well, Jeff, our test involves a creature called the Majestic, which delves into your memories of alleged love and displays them for all to see. And now, to help us wake up the Majestic, the Summoner!
A sight for sore eyes to the blind would be awful majestic. It would be the most beautiful thing that they ever had seen. It would cause such surprise it would make all of their minds electric. How could anyone tell them that some things are not what they seem? In such disbelief, I thought I was asleep when I met you. I hardly got by and I sighed, oh, this must be a dream. If I forget to set the alarm and sleep on through the dawn, don't remind me. I'd rather be dreaming of someone than living alone. If you're searching the lines for a point, well, you've probably missed it. There was never anything there in the first place.
You call that love? All we saw were examples of you being a selfish, inconsiderate jerk. You failed.